شكرا يا ربي شكرا هديت قلبي شكرا نورت دربي شكرا شكرا يا ربي شكرا يا ربي شكرا.
Yeah.
So I work with a lot of people my age and people who are younger than me even, and they we hold camps, we hold retreats, they come, and it's something that I'm noticing is becoming like a bigger issue is just like how to actually accept the negative, or that like bad things happen to them, and how you explain like why bad things happen. Because a lot of people are like losing faith in Allah, saying like Allah doesn't love me, I'm a bad person, this is why this is happening to me. Then they like leave the entire faith. So how do you even explain or begin to explain like why these things even happen?
Okay, so to repeat her question, she's saying that a lot of people having faith crisis because they don't understand how this question of why do bad things happen to good people, and they can't they can't reconcile it, and it makes them lose their faith, or they say things like God doesn't love me, and they just lose their faith. First of all, the reason why I quoted that hadith is because that hadith that I quoted, the ajabun li amri al-mu'min, the matter of a believer is strange. That hadith teaches us that bad things never happen to good people. That in fact, whatever happens to a believer is good for him or her. And it has everything to do with my response. Okay? But that's a different way of looking at the world. See, if I see everything that happens to me as a way to get closer to Allah, then everything becomes good for me, even if it's painful. Make sense? So, when you get a shot, suppose you're sick and you need a shot of medicine. And this medicine is gonna actually save your life, but it has to be through a shot. What are you gonna say? Okay, right? Yes, there's some temporary pain, but it's curing me. The needle has medicine that's curing me. That's a different way of understanding versus a child who doesn't understand. They're just gonna look at that needle and just scream and cry and just be angry, right? Because they don't understand that it's medicine. So it has to do with, number one, it has to do with understanding that everything Allah gives us as a believer is good for us, even when it comes through a needle. Even if it comes and I don't understand it. Another example is if we go outside now and your mom is picking you up, she's driving, and you ask her, where are we going? And she says, just wait and see. Are you gonna phone the police because you're really scared? Are you gonna be like, yo, 911, I'm being taken somewhere, I don't know where it is. Why aren't you gonna call the police? Because you trust your mom, that's it. But if it was a stranger that you didn't trust, you'd call the police. Do you understand? So the reality is that sometimes Allah does things in our life and we don't understand. We don't understand. He's taking us somewhere, we don't know where. But if you trust Allah, then you're not going to be scared. You're not going to be anxious and worried. You may not know, like in this example, you don't know where your mom's taking you, but you trust your mom completely. You're not worried that she's going to hurt you. But we don't have enough trust in Allah. This is the problem. So a lot of it has to do with getting to know Allah. Really. Like the answer to your question is, these people, these youth, it's about getting to know who Allah is. Because the more we know Allah, the more we put our trust in Him. If we know, first of all, Allah is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Allah is, He has so much mercy for us, even more than a mother for her child. If we knew that, if we really knew that, then we wouldn't be worried. You understand? Husn al-dhann billah. What's husn al-dhann billah? It means, just like remember you said you're not scared of your mom. Why? Because you know she has your best interest in mind. You're not worried she's going to throw you in a ditch and leave you. You have a good opinion of your mom. See, husn al-dhann billah means you have a good opinion of Allah. You know that whatever Allah is doing with you is for your own good. That's part of knowing Allah. And when you know who Allah is, that He has your best interest in mind, that He's not going to hurt you, then it becomes easier to cope, even when you don't understand. Even when you have to take a needle. Even when you don't know exactly where you're going, but you have full hope and trust in Allah, that He has your best interest in mind. So I mean, that's really what it is. It has to do with knowing who Allah is, and then putting your trust in Him and knowing that He's not gonna make you get lost or hurt you. Everything Allah does is for our own good. The matter of a believer is strange. Everything is good for them. Any last question? Yes.
Well said. A lot of things you said I thought were really, inspiring in terms of just our connection to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and our spirituality is very central. But what I also feel like is, I have a question about is that you could do that and live kind of a very individualistic life, right? Where you're kind of, I'm praying my salah, but I'm most praying by myself. Yeah, I'm doing my adhkar, but I'm not really connecting with my family members or people in my community, especially in places like Northwest Indiana where we don't have a huge Muslim community like in Chicago or other places. So my question kind of relates to when you feel that type of separatedness from the Muslim community, what then becomes what then is the role of community within all of this, right? So it seems that seems to be a really necessary aspect of feeling grounded, feeling positive, but how do we actually go about doing that when we're forced to be separated from one another?
Okay, great question. So to repeat his question, a lot of what we spoke about right now was individualistic. How does community fit? Okay, especially he's saying in this situation, you guys are you have a small community, it's not that easy to be connected to the community. Where does community fit in? That's a whole, a discussion in and of itself. A lot of times I give this talk, and one of the take-home messages that I try to impart to others is this, to sort of summarize. If you study the ayah, the Quran and the Hadith and the Sunnah, you'll find that there's one theme again and again and again throughout the text, and that's this. The way we treat the creation is how we should expect the Creator to treat us. You're going to find this theme again and again. How we are with people, and it isn't only people, but even animals. You'll see this theme. How we treat the creation is how the Creator will treat us. And I give you example after example. The Prophet ﷺ said, have mercy on the people, have mercy on those who are on the earth, and the one in the heavens will have mercy on you. So mercy. And then the other side too, the one who does not have or show mercy will not be shown mercy by God. Again, that connection, that parallel. We're told, for example, in a hadith, that if we help another person in need, Allah will help us when we're in need. That if we say, if a person is in a difficult situation and we help them out of that difficult situation, Allah will help us on the Day of Judgment. And if we shield the flaws of another person, Allah will shield our flaws. And again, these parallels. So much so, to point out, the extent of this, the Prophet ﷺ says in this Sahih Hadith that he said that I prefer to walk with my brother/sister in their time of need than to be in i'tikaf in this masjid. And he's pointing at which masjid? Masjid al-Nabawi. Okay, so we're not even just talking about this masjid, may Allah bless your masjid, but we're talking about the Masjid al-Nabawi in Medina, where one prayer is equivalent to 1,000 in another masjid. He's saying that I prefer to help my brother in need, in his walk with my brother in their time of need, than to be in i'tikaf in this masjid for a certain period of time, not just one night. So this shows us the extent of our relationships with one another, how important that is with regards to our relationship to Allah. And one of the things that you'll find is sometimes the fastest way to, for example, get the forgiveness of Allah is to forgive someone who's wronged you. You know how I know that? Because in the Quran, in the time when Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, he found out that one of the people accusing his daughter or spreading the rumor about Aisha radiallahu anha was a relative. And a relative who he was financially supporting. Right? And Allah reveals a verse about this because when Abu Bakr radiallahu anh found out about this, all he did was stop the financial support. He didn't like go looking for revenge or try to harm this man. He was financially supporting this man. All he does is withhold. What would we do? That's all he does, withhold the financial support. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals an ayah about this incident at this time. And Allah says, let them pardon and overlook. أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ? This is what Allah says. Let them pardon and overlook. Do you not love for Allah to forgive you? So you see the connection that's made here is Allah is saying that us forgiving this person who wronged us is parallel to Allah forgiving us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger make these parallels all the time. How we are with people is how we should expect Allah to be with us. Very important. You cannot separate the community from the individual. Okay. Subhanakallah wa bihamdak. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
شكرا هديت قلبي شكرا نورت دربي شكرا شكرا يا رب شكرا يا ربي شكرا هديت قلبي شكرا